All right, everyone. I'm live now. We'll take a minute to see what happens here. Uh, it's kind of impromptu live. I don't know if anybody will show up or not. It's kind of early. It's on a Monday. Usually I try to do when I do a live on Tuesdays, and I may still try to do one tomorrow. I got an idea. But anyway, I just wanted to do this live because I haven't done a Scout's Most Memorable Whiskey for 2019. I've been asked by a couple of different people what was my favorite whiskeys, and that's a tough decision for me. I went through my scores, made a little note, and there's been a couple of bottles I've had that I haven't reviewed, so I'm going to keep this just to bottles that I've reviewed. But I find a lot of my higher scores have been on bottles that are unobtainable anymore, or they're very limited in what you can find. For instance, Highland Park 18. The particular Glenlivet Nadura I have, I think, is a 2014 edition. The Russell Reserve, that was a single barrel from some time ago. So these are things that make it kind of difficult to gauge. So I'm going to go with the ones that are the most available. And that's not to say if you can find a Glenlivet Nadura like the one I reviewed, not to get it, that's a very good whiskey. Very good whiskey. The Colonel E.H. Taylor was a good whiskey. I had this last year. I really liked it. The Russell Reserve was outstanding, but it was a single barrel, and it was just, I just can't believe I waited so long to open it. And then when I did, I went through that pretty dang quick after I got it open. Excuse me. Had pizza for lunch a couple hours ago, and it's still, maybe more than that, 3 hours ago, it's still kind of, well, I had 2 pieces, but it's haunting me a little bit. Anyway, so we're going to narrow this down to the 2 most important whiskeys that I like this year that are available and everything. One runner-up is Talisker 10. I like Talisker 10. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know that. Some people like it. They give it lower as a 10-year-old. I think it's an outstanding 10-year-old. It's given me a little bit of everything I like. But that's just me. So, but one that is available, and I think they're on a different batch, but I may be wrong. And this will be my Scotch pick for the year. It'll be the Glen Grant 15, and I am sorry for the glare on this, guys. This is not the most optimal thing, but this Glen Grant 15, it is an excellent whiskey. It is 50% alcohol by volume. This is the first edition. They call it batch strength. It's really, you couldn't call it a barrel or cask strength. It doesn't really apply. It's kind of a little low in the alcohol ABV for that. But it's still an excellent whiskey. And this would be my definite pick for that whiskey of the year. My second option for whiskey of the year, and this is the bourbon. This is the Scotch. This is the bourbon. I'm only going to cover Scotch and bourbon this year. And this will be Old Forester 1910. Now, I've had the 1920, and I like it a lot, but I have not reviewed it, so we're not going to include it in this. But this 1910 for 46.5% alcohol by volume is just outstanding. I mean, it is just an outstanding whiskey. I believe the score I gave it was a 94, which put it on the same point as Russell Reserve's, as the Russell Reserve bottle, 94. Very high scores. This was only a 91, and after I looked through everything, my highest score on the Scotch for this year was a 91. And you know, I may be lowballing my Scotch a little bit and highballing my bourbons a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe I think there's more room for expansion on Scotch flavors. So know when I say something is 91 or above, especially on a Scotch, to me, that is truly an outstanding Scotch. I think I have such an ingrained hope that there's going to be a lot higher numbers, that maybe that's the reason I grade my Scotches a little bit lower than I do my bourbons. I don't know. That may change with time. So what might be a 91 this year might equivalent to a 93, 94 next year. You don't know. So it's going to, it's based totally on it's so subjective. So, but know that the 91 for my Scotch of the year versus the 94 for this, if we put them on equal footing, I like this one a little better. I'll be honest. If I was given a choice between the two, I'm going to choose the Scotch. Now, I might lean towards Scotch a little more, and that's maybe why I do that. But that's just my preference. All right. Like I said, this was impromptu. This was not planned. So any of you guys watching it after the fact, I got a box from DJ today, and it's the second. The new year's been good to me. I've gotten a couple of gifts from friends. So, and I appreciate them as always. I've already started the inbox. I didn't get to this one yet. I kind of know what he sent me. He's already sent me everything, but these bottles are still cold. It literally came off the porch when I got home. But I've already opened 2 packages of it. So he sent me a Firefly. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. Firefly Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Store pick by Pavilion Discount. It's a single barrel, 45% USA. I'll have to do some research. This one I don't know much about. That's kind of a new one on me. Everything showed up fine. I don't smell no breakages, so no leakages or nothing. So the next one was the one we initially discussed, which is what I'm really looking forward to trying. And I don't know if it'll focus or not. This camera on this computer is not the best. Glengoyne Cask Strength. It is batch 006 at 59.8%, and I'm really looking forward to that one. That was our initial discussion, and then he's graciously provided me with more, and I cannot thank him enough for it. He sent me a Cooper and King Single Barrel Select American Brandy, aged in bourbon barrels, 53.5%. So this ought to be really interesting. American Brandy aged in bourbon barrels. Be the first time I've had anything like that, so that'll be very interesting. He also sent me Chattanooga 1816 Cask Strength Bourbon, 2+ years, 56.8. This is distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Now, I've heard good things about Chattanooga, and I've always kind of thought about ordering one. I just never could pull the trigger on it, so it's just, there's so many things you want. Legitimately, there's only so many things you're going to get, in my case anyway. There's other things I do that requires money outside of whiskey. So, and that's just the nature of it. I don't know if I can see my chat or not, or what's going on here. So, there's his comments. Banners. I don't know enough about StreamYard yet. So here's the last 3 that he sent. That they're Smooth Ambler, Old Scout, Single Barrel Select. Now I have a 7-year-old version of this, an older bottling. This is 13 years old, aged in bourbon barrels, 52%, and distilled in Tennessee. So this ought to be pretty good stuff. The 7-year-old's good. Lord, it's been open a year and a half. I should have already done a review on it by now, or more, probably longer than that. I got to get down and do some reviews. I'm getting really behind in the 8 ball on some of the stuff I've got versus the amount of reviews I've done. Davidson Reserve Rye, Tennessee Straight Rye Whiskey, single barrel, 2+ years, 20%, pot distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. I don't know if y'all can read these. I hope you can. I hope the computer ain't, the camera ain't too messed up. And last but not least, Deanston 2008 single malt Scotch stage in Bordeaux cask, 9 years old, 58.7%, Scotland Highlands. I don't know which one I want to open. I waited, I'm just going to jump into that Glengoyne. That Glengoyne has started our conversation, and that was the one that seemed prevalent to me. So we'll do the Glengoyne cask strength. Here's 4, 6, so 7 whiskeys we got. Hey Trish, how you doing? Hey CBP. This is unplanned, so it's not going to be a lot of people here for this. And this time of day for my guys is kind of early. But thank you guys for showing up. They'll watch it on the playback, hopefully. But a Glengoyne cask strength. Batch number 006 at 59.8. I'm not sure about price-wise on it. I have seen it once before. I think it was in Oklahoma. And I want to say it was in the $70 to $80 range. It might have been more. I'm not certain about that. But I think that was the range it was in. Ended up buying something else that day. We don't want to sample it all. Just get a little bit here. And that barbecue I did yesterday, Brandon, was good. My daughter came home and she ate everything that was left. She had her steak and 2 strips of shrimp. So we all had two skewers of shrimp and a steak each. So we had our surf and turf last night. I also did butter beans and carrots to go with it. Tonight I seen chicken layout. Tonight someone else is cooking, not me. The sherry casks come through. They're for 59.8%. I do not have no alcohol hitting the olfactory senses at all. Just a tingle. Ever so much of a tingle. Oh, this is going to be good. My mouth is starting to water. The baking spices and the dark fruits are both really coming through on this. There's a buttery component in it. When you inhale with your mouth open through your nose, it oftentimes drags a lot of those extra molecules down across the back of your tongue, and it really enhances. And even some of the molecules that leak out from around the edge of the glass that you inhale through your mouth at the same time just really helps you sense more of what's going on than if you just close your mouth and go. Oh. Cherries out the wazoo. Dried cherries. Dark, rich, dried cherries. Dates. Lots of nutmeg, cinnamon, a little ginger. Little allspice even. Just a touch of allspice coming along with everything. I mean, it's just like a lot of baking spices. Ever so bit of hint of chocolate. Bitter chocolate. This is outstanding whiskey. This is French. This is definitely European oak. Very heavily sherried European oak. Viscous. Mouth-watering. Up front. Very slick, for lack of a better word. Oh, very oily. We're in the finish now. The palate's gone. The finish is a low intensity finish, but it's very, very even. It's not going to, it's not going from intensity from high to low. It's reached a point now where it's kind of riding an even finish for a while. Like all finishes, it'll die off. But we're still going on the finish. This is medium long so far. It just drags on. The oiliness is staying in my mouth too. It just still there. It's still lingering. I knew this would be good. I really did. Glengoyne makes good whiskey. I mean, I'm trying to think of which one I've had. I think just the 10 or the 12. Not sure. My phone, I wish it just shut up. But this is everything I expected. Everything I expected. Oh, I have had I got a sample of the Teapot dram. Did I try that or not? I can't remember. It was given to me. It was sent to me given to me by Keith. What? That'd be not. You know what? It'd be fun to put this one against that one. That would be really interesting. Guys, this is outstanding stuff. Everything you want in a sherried whiskey is there. The spiciness now, them baking spices. There's even a little clove there, just a touch of clove. I mean, you've got it. Nutmeg, allspice. Ginger, touch of clove. A little cinnamon, or some cinnamon there. This does not dry. I mean, yeah, the longer it dwells in your mouth, a high ABV alcohol is going to dry out. This one's not necessarily drying out like I would think. I don't know why. I think it's because my mouth is just watering from all the flavors that it keeps producing, and the oiliness really just sticks with me. It's an outstanding sample. Thank you, DJ Beacon. I appreciate it. He wanted to know my opinions on a few of these other samples I sent. I've got a work project coming up that I'll be gone for a few days. So it's probably going to be next month before I get to that. But I'm going to try to arrange to do that in a live session too. And I'll let him know ahead of time so he can be there. And I can give him a live opinion on a few of these that he's curious about my opinion for. And I'm got a lot of opinions, so I don't mind sharing. Anyway, I don't want to drag this on too long, guys. We've been on almost 19, 20 minutes now. And That's, to me, was pretty long. We've seen my 2 whiskeys of the year. Again, in case you wasn't here earlier, it'll be Glen Grant 15 batch strength and the Old Forester 1910. This is outstanding stuff for an under 100%. I know there's a lot of ABV junkies out there that doesn't like anything underneath 100, and power to them. That's their prerogative. I like this. It's 46.5% alcohol by volume, and it's everything you want. And it's not a shooting whiskey, Trish. It's a sipping whiskey. So if you happen to buy it, keep that in mind. Don't let me talk you into doing a shot of it, because I ain't going to do a shot of it. Anyway, guys, let me get off here. Remember, the spirit in your glass ain't running from you. Take your time, sip and enjoy it. You'll be better for it, as will we all. And everyone have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. And thanks, Trish and Brandon, for joining. I appreciate that. I'll see you guys later.